The football stage has and always will witness legends, players who can give us thrilling emotions, teams who produce magical football, moments that take your breath away. After all, football is an amazing sport, although during the 2000s, there have been countless players and teams to make us experience any of what I just told you. There was one Brazilian who repeated that countless times, and what makes him stand out is that he played the game so beautifully, rather enchantingly, like listening to a symphony. Ronaldinho was an artist, and the pitch was his canvas. Today, we're going to have a dive in his career to try and find a true conclusion to the very famous question, what could have Ronaldinho achieved if he had trained harder? If you want to listen to what we have to say about that, please stay with us until the end of this video. Firstly, looking at him year after year, and in the end, trying to answer it in the best way possible. Also, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what do you think, or suggest us a topic or player to make a video for. Ronaldinho began his professional career in the Brazilian league with Grêmio. Having previously impressed in futsal football as a kid, it was clear that he possessed many great qualities, among them a smile which would become his signature characteristic over the span of his career. In his second season with Grêmio, Ronaldinho began showcasing his talent, displaying amazing performances in important games, most notably in the Campeonato Gaucho final against Internacional, where the youngster not only scored but also embarrassed the legendary Brazilian Dunga, who was the captain of his country's 1994 World Cup win, firstly leaving him shocked with an amazing skill, and in the other occasion flicking the ball over him. In Brazil, Ronaldinho became a very known name, and was called up for the 1999 Copa Americana which Brazil won. Just 1 week after their success, he was included for the Confederations Cups team, where he was absolutely phenomenal. With 6 goals and 7 assists, he won the tournament's Golden Ball and Golden Boot. However, despite leading his country to the final, they lost in a thrilling 7-goal game against Mexico. Ronaldinho was ready to take the next step of his career, and firstly he almost signed for Arsenal, but due to paperwork problems the deal broke down, and so in 2001 he joined Paris Saint-Germain. In his first season in France, it took him some time to eventually show what he was made of, as after the winter break he would start scoring some goals and deliver good performances. 20 goal contributions in 40 appearances were more than enough evidence to convince Luis Felipe Scolari on including Ronaldinho for the 2002 World Cup team that would represent Brazil. On his first ever World Cup, Ronaldinho was part of a legendary attacking trio together with Ronaldo and Rivaldo. On the second game of the group stages against China, Ronaldinho produced an assist, and after that he converted a penalty in the 45th minute, scoring his first ever World Cup goal. Although his performances were great, the star of the team was of course Ronaldo, who was enjoying his prime years. Even so, in the quarter-finals against a strong England team, it was none other than Ronaldinho who led Brazil to victory. After Michael Owen's first blood, Brazil found themselves trailing from behind for the first time in a tournament, and England's defence wouldn't exactly make things easy for them, being packed with names like Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell, and Rio Ferdinand. However, in the last moments of the first half, Ronaldinho carried the ball from the halfway line, dribbled Ashley Cole and passed it to Rivaldo, who scored with his left. And then, just a few minutes into the second half, Brazil won a free kick in a crossing position, 40 yards away from goal. Everyone was waiting for the cross in the box, and then magically, the ball was chipped over David Seaman's head, and nobody could believe their eyes. Ronaldinho had just scored in an impossible way never seen before. The shock was too great for the English players. Ronaldinho had just left them stunned, and despite receiving a red card, the result didn't change. To this day it remains as one of the most beautiful goals ever in football history, and when asked if he meant to shoot it, Ronaldinho said yes. Even though he was actually aiming for the other side of the goal, he had seen the goalkeeper's position. Brazil of course went on to win the World Cup, and after that, Ronaldinho was one of the most famous names in football. He would spend one more season in France before his move to Barcelona. His time in Paris was with lots of ups and downs. He would be in a amazing player in the big games, but would often lack focus on other games. However, Ronaldinho played beautifully in League One. He scored some amazing goals and gave iconic performances, and it was time for him to sign for a top club. In 2003, Ronaldinho joined Barcelona and he was given a number 10 jersey. Back then, Barcelona were a struggling team, but with the arrival of Joao Laporta and Frank Rijkaard, the hopes were high. They had brought Ronaldinho to the Camp Nou, entrusting him with the task of leading the team to titles, making him the center of their project, and it didn't take long for the Blaugrana fans to be amazed by his ability. On the second game of La Liga against Seville, Ronaldinho scored his first goal for the club. He took the ball from his own half, dribbled through the midfield and from a 30-yard distance, hammered it in off the crossbar, scoring an absolute banger which left Frank Rijkaard and the rest of the bench shocked with their hands over their heads. He announced that he had arrived. Now the fans and everyone in the club knew what to expect. Although at a moment Barcelona were sitting 12th in the league after returning from an injury that kept him out for some games, Ronaldinho led the team to win after win, earning them a second place finish. When you think of a club's era of domination, of course there has to be a starting point. Ronaldinho was one of the key elements who took part into the beginning of one of football's most famous eras of success. Carles Puyol himself stated that Ronaldinho gave Barcelona their spirits back and made them smile again. In his second season in Spain, the Brazilian was even more impressive. In December, Ronaldinho was awarded as FIFA World Player of the Year, which was his first major individual award. He finished the season with 13 goals and 16 assists in all competitions, where 4 of them came in 7 Champions League appearances. Barcelona had progressed in the round of 16 where they beat Mourinho's Chelsea in the first leg. However, in the next leg, 3 goals in just 20 minutes from kickoff left the Spaniards completely stunned as the Englishman took over. However, Ronaldinho converted a penalty in the 27th minute, reopening the game, and 12 minutes later, a moment of pure genius sparked in front of 40,000 fans in Stamford Bridge. Receiving the ball from Andres Iniesta, Ronaldinho found himself in a maze full of Chelsea's players. After a display of amazing technique with a couple of fakes, he slowly shot the ball in the left corner, leaving Peter Cech unable to do anything to stop the ball. Although John Terry scored late into the game to eliminate Barcelona, Ronaldinho gave everyone a reason to smile as the football stage witnessed yet another fantastic performance by the Brazilian, and his toe-poke goal still remains one of the most famous ones in football with millions of views. In the league, things went differently where Barcelona won La Liga for the first time in the new millennium, and in the summer, Ronaldinho captained Brazil in the 2005 Confederations Cup, where his 4-goal contributions helped Brazil win the final against Argentina. He received the Bronze Ball award as the 3rd best player of the tournament after Riquelme in 2nd and his teammate Adriano, who won the Golden Ball. In La Liga during that season, Ronaldinho was something else. His appearances were out of this world, shocking everyone, and it was in this season that Ronaldinho truly displayed what he was capable of 100%. Like for example, in the first clash against Real in November, Ronaldinho gave us one of the most iconic performances of all time. In the second half, the Brazilian took the ball from the halfway line, dribbled past Real's defenders with ease and slotted it in to make it 2-0. Later on, he took the ball in the left wing. With a few steps over, he passed Sergio Ramos and tricked Casillas into going on the other corner, converting another beautiful solo play. He played so well that game that he earned a standing ovation from Real Madrid's fans. We all know that is something that could only happen so rarely. Ronaldinho wearing that classic red and blue striped Barcelona kit without a sponsor on, with the number 10 on his back and his hair moving around while he dribbles past everyone, is such a vintage memory. Football at its finest. It was in this season that Ronaldinho won the most prestigious individual award in football, the Ballon d'Or. In the league, Ronaldinho scored 17 goals and produced 18 assists in 29 appearances, helping Barcelona win another league title. But that's not all, because now it was time for Barcelona to conquer the European stage, and so they did it, winning the UEFA Champions League in a heated final against Thierry Henry's Arsenal. Ronaldinho was nothing short of phenomenal. In the next season, despite netting 21 goals in the league and both Real and Barca finishing with equal points, Real won the league on the better head-to-head record. In the 2007-2008 season, which would be his last in Catalonia, Ronaldinho played only 26 games, missing about half of Barcelona's fixtures due to numerous injuries, but his regime too wasn't the same. Ronaldinho's love for parties had been an issue since his PSG days, but now he had also started slacking in training, and that was a reason that Barcelona wanted to let him go. And so in 2008, a new chapter began in Ronaldinho's career as he moved to Italy to join AC Milan. Although he gave us glimpses of his past self, Ronaldinho never reached his old level. He managed 10 goals and 6 assists during his first year. In the 2009-2010 season, Ronaldinho gave us his last dance, as he played his best season for the remainder of his career. In the next season, even though Milan won the Scudetto, Ronaldinho had left the club in January. After managing one more goal with the red and black shirt, he returned to Brazil, aged 31 years old, to join Flamengo. Even though his glory days were over, Ronaldinho didn't go back to his country for holidays. He helped Flamengo win the Taça Guanabara and Taça Rio, 2 important trophies in Brazil. Not only that, but Ronaldinho also gave an unforgettable performance against Santos into a timeless classic for football fans, where he faced a young and talented Neymar. After being 3 goals down in the first 30 minutes of the game, with Neymar even scoring a wonder goal that would win the Puskas Award, Flamengo managed to draw the game. In the second half, Santos would go back in front. However, Ronaldinho would score 2 beautiful goals after also scoring the first goal for his team to complete a hat-trick and seal the win. With 19 goals and 13 assists in 44 games, his adventure with the club was completed. After them, Ronaldinho joined Atletico Mineiro. The thing is, Ronaldinho was past his prime at this point of his career. After his time with Atletico Mineiro, he would enjoy a special standing ovation from the opposing fans while playing in Mexico for Querétaro after a game in which he scored twice, and he would also play a few more games in Brazil with Fluminense before retiring. However, the real closing chapters of his football journey came a little bit sooner than his official retirement. That happened when he was still an Atletico Mineiro player. The club never before had managed to win the most prestigious trophy in South American football, the Copa Libertadores, and to be fair, nobody really believed that Ronaldinho would bring any change in that matter. But somehow, someway, even though his pace was gone, he showed continued class and amazing playmaking skills. Cuca, Atletico Mineiro's coach, created a game around Ronaldinho in a way that he could get the last shining light from a dying star. Ronaldinho scored 4 goals and produced 7 assists in 14 games to lead them to their first and only Copa Libertadores trophy. They thought he was finished. Well, Ronaldinho did become the only player in history to win the Ballon d'Or, Champions League, World Cup and Copa Libertadores. And now to answer the famous question, what could have Ronaldinho achieved if he had trained harder? Well, a simple answer is a lot. And I don't think anyone who saw his prime years could doubt that. Ronaldinho was truly an unplayable guy. He probably could have won a couple more Ballon d'Ors had he focused on maintaining his physique and giving 100% in training. However, I think that to be able to perform in a way that he did, a character like Ronaldinho needed freedom. He played football for pleasure. It came to him naturally. You were always under the impression that he was having fun out there. It will always be a big what if. Had he been a more consistent guy, he would probably be compared to Messi and Ronaldo. But in the same time, maybe he needed the parties and the music to play the way he played. Not every player is meant to shine for as long as their career lasts. Some players come, shine bright, and then leave in an artistic way, revealing their masterpieces to the world, never to be seen again creating such works. And I think, since Ronaldinho was an artist of the pitch, that's just his case. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.